Hello everyone, this is Darwell20, and welcome to episode 50 of Darwell20's Let's Play of practically a Malum Let's Play at this point, because I've been having so much fun with this mod. Last episode we did a bunch of automation, right? So we took a look at automating Malum. I got the 4 obelisks in place, which means it's a little bit easier now to do some Malum crafting. Speaking of, I never did put Hexash in there, and I know that's a big one. So let's add that to the craft, and then see how fast it is. Is that a deal? I feel like that's a deal. Cool. So on the up, you're going to allow gunpowder and 1 at a time, so that should be no biggie. And then that should be cool. So give me like 10 Hexash, please. We're gonna see if... Oh yeah, that's definitely faster. We're just gonna need to make sure that, you know, probably throw a magnet disable dude in there, right? That's probably a good idea. Demagnetization coil. That'd be cool. Definitely working great. So today, what I'd like to play with in Malum is the player buffs thing. The Gesa. So we talked about it a little bit last episode, but I think also that might have been cut out from the derpage that happened in the last episode. Either way, want to play with this. Today we're going to understand how Gesa works. So basically, you can make a pact to give yourself some buffs that usually come with some kind of debuffs. And it looks like there's a lot of them, to be fair. I think all of these are options. And then if you scroll a little further, there's like more over to the left. And then if you go over to the right, there's even more over to the right. And I don't know quite yet if these are broken up into some kind of logical structure. Like, you know, I don't know if like over here is different from over here in any way, like if there's any kind of logical structure to them. So what I think I'm going to do is just start this episode by flipping through a couple of the packs off camera and see which ones spark my interest, right? I will note that you can only have 2 of them active at any time, and there is a way to remove them if you so choose. But it looks like we need like a lot of components, so that's going to be like a thing we're going to want to do. So now we also have this whole setup over here, which I'm going to want to probably rearrange some of how these totems work. They don't have a particularly large area of effect, these totems. So we're going to want to be very careful about how we do things. Why did I feel like I hear... I did hear. Aha. Probably want this on. But we'll have to figure out how to proceed with this whole thing. But for now, let me read through the packs, figure out what we're going to be dealing with, and we'll go from there. Is that a fair deal? I think that's a fair deal. So I'll be back after I flip through the book. All right, so I flipped through and read all of these and picked 3 that I like. They're all cool, but 3 that I think I'm interested in, because you can only have 2. So I have to like decide which of these 3 I like. But I'm gonna like poke at a few of them just so you can see what it's like. So like Pact of Self-Care. Food grants increased saturation. Eating food cleanses negative effects. That's the good effect. To starve is to lose yourself completely. Low hunger drains health much faster. So that's kind of what you're looking at for a lot of these things, right? Is, you know, there's a positive and a negative effect that comes with the pact. There's all kinds of cool stuff in here. You know, like this one, taking damage converts it to wrath. Dealing damage utilizes wrath to repeatedly blast enemies with wicked arcana. So basically, like every time you take damage, you build up wrath, and then when you attack, it unleashes it. But the negative effect is wrath decreases over time, and all incoming damage is doubled. Maybe that's, you know, that might go on the maybe category. What was the other one that I liked over here that I thought was neat? This one. Passively recovers your health. Health recovery is shared with nearby creatures, including enemies. So like this one will like passively heal you. That's not the one I was thinking of. Half of all incoming damage is buffered and converted to damage over time. buffered damage cannot kill you. However, buffered damage becomes magic damage and is overall 1/5 more potent. So like that's a thing. So here, let me tell you the ones I liked the most that I wanna check out. Flame Keeper looked cool. Breaking blocks or taking damage generates Flame Keeper's fervor, increasing mining and attack speed. You cannot deny the flame its purpose. High fervor ignites you when struck. So basically, like every time you take damage, you build up fervor, and it'll increase your attack speed. But I think if you get really high on that fervor, it'll ignite you on fire when you get struck. Could be fun to check out. That looks like a neat one. Another one I liked was Warlock. Where's that? It's this one. The initial hit against enemies blasts them with Wicked Arcana. So I'm assuming like the first hit against something does like extra damage. However, feel anger, cause anger. Enemies can detect you from twice as far. I don't think I have a problem with that default. Like, it's, yeah, I get it, but like, I don't think that's the end of the world. Continuing Shot is one I like. Dealing range damage accelerates draw speed for most ranged weapons. However, missing a shot will remove any draw speed bonuses and instead dampen it. I wonder how that's going to play with my homing arrow on my Just Dire Things arrow. I have no idea how the code for that would work. I'm assuming it should work just fine. But we're going to find out together, I think, because that's definitely one I want to try. And I'm curious to see if there's like a buff thing that shows up. And then where was the other one I liked? Berserker. I like Berserker's I already told you about, right? So let me start with Continuing Shot. I think I'm going to start with that one. And maybe Warlock, because, you know, I like that too. And we'll go from there. So let me say Continuing Shot. So we're going to need Aerial, Wicked, and Aqueous, and some feathers, right? So Aerial. How do I have so little Aerial? Aqueous and Wicked. It's 16 of each, right? For Continuing Shot. Am I remembering that correctly? 16, 16, 16. 12 feathers, 8 arrows, and 4 astral weave. So 12 feathers and 8 arrows. Need more feathers. And astral weave. This comes from phantoms, I think. So, like, good thing I've been really working on the phantoms. Now we should have a chicken dude. You're my, you know, just on demand guy. The other ones are automated, right? Like I'm continuously producing nether stars, and this guy's like redstone controlled, and this guy's here for just like, hey, I want to occasionally go grab a chicken. Let's make sure that feathers is it, because I don't need chicken. And then we're going to figure out how this pact works. And then it's ether, which I light the flame with. And remember, to remove this buff, I need the other thing, which is Paracosal Flame. If I do the same ritual but light it with Paracosal Flame, then it's all good. Oh, nope, not that. So I assume I just like click these dudes in here, right? So like 1, 2, 3. So cool. And then you. And you. You. I'm assuming the fact that they're like floating there now means like this is cool. And then do I light it with an ether? Oh, that's cool. What is going on? I love everything about it. Look how cool that is. And then I think you have to click it to hurt yourself, right? And that like seals the pact. And then is that it? That is so cool. Look at how cool that is. I'm assuming you want to stay inside because it said multiple players could like join the pact, right? So did it work? I get my feathers back apparently? Did it work? Do I have the buff? Or did I do it wrong? Ether is used to ignite once each oath requires material sacrifice in the form of a central item, additional ingredients, and arcana to fuel the bond inserted into the brazier once lit. You must offer blood to seal the pact. Do so by interacting with the brazier. Any number of willing participants may offer blood to this end at once. I think that was it. I think we got it. So I guess what we're gonna do... Flawed aim. That worked! It did work! That's cool. True shot. Dude, look how fast I'm drawing. Oh, that is cool. And then if I miss, I get flawed aim. Which is not the end of the world, mind you. That is cool. It totally just worked. And I like that it gives me a buff there. Remember, I complain about when there's buffs and when there's not. But if it's a temporary ability that you want to know that it's there, I definitely want to see the icon. So that 100% worked, and that is super cool. Did you see how fast I was drawing my bow once I like had True Shot up? Yeah, buddy. Even with one, it's like an instant draw. It's super cool. Oh, you're a named dude. Or not a named dude, but you're something. You're something cool. How cool is that? I like it. I like that buff a lot, actually. And I like the concept of like, oh, you don't just get like free buffs, right? You get buffs, but like there's downsides to all of them. So you really have to like choose which ones you really want to go with, because also you can only have two, from my understanding. Now I wonder if there's a way to like check which ones you have. Like I know I can just remember that I put that one on, but is there like a, these are your buffs thing? I don't know. Warlock. Should we try Warlock? Pact of the Warlock. So that's going to be 12 refined, 16 wicked, 16 aqueous. So 16 wicked. How are we for aqueous? We could use a few more. Refined. What was it? 12? Pact of the Warlock. And then 4 arcane coal and 4 hexash. So hexash should not be a problem. But arcane coal was what again? Arcane coal comes from smelting soulwood logs or runewood logs. I think we have a bunch of soulwood logs, so... And it was 4 I needed? Is that right? Am I remembering? Yes. There you go. Arcane. So I just need to get some aqueous stuff, which I assume I can just drop right in here. Oh yeah. All the stuffs. And that'll do. Oops, I put away the ash by mistake. What was it? 4? And then 4 of you, right? Sacred, no. So you were 16 wicked, 16 aqueous, 12 refined. 16 wicked, 16 aqueous, 12 refined. And then we light it. Oh yeah, that is the coolest of cool. And then we activate, seal the pact kind of deal, right? And then we just wait for the ritual to complete, and any player that has clicked it will get the ability. So that's kind of a neat thing. I like it. I like it. I like it. Okay. We're going to go try it. All right. So, I don't know why I'm exploding all of a sudden. Is that anybody? Oh, yeah, he did some damage. That's cool. Sundering. Damage increased. Damage received increased. That might be from the explodey arrow bits that were hitting me. I assume that it is. That's cool. You see that little, like, doing extra damage thing? Yeah, I think the sundering is from whatever was shooting at me. That is super cool. So I think these are the two I'm just going to keep, right? Like, I have no reason not to keep these buffs. I like this. Okay, cool. So, like, soul grinding... I don't need this thing to always exist, right? Like, I'm kind of done with it for now. And maybe in the future I'll have another thing I want to swap. And I can, like, remove one and put a different one in, if I so choose. But I'm not going to choose to do that, because I like what I got going on. So with that said, the only other thing I might want to check out from this mod, because I haven't yet... what did I get in Just Dire things that's new? Oh, that's right, I made the Oryx Ray. Malum. Yeah, we made any soul stained tool. Nice. I do want to look at that cool weapon thing. So, what have we done here? I did not get into the Spirit Crucible yet. Pretty sure that's what's like the whole making resources thing. This is like the armor down here. The Weeping Well is like a whole thing we could check out for some really cool weapons and whatnot, I guess. That's neat. I don't remember seeing these in the actual book. So I have to check that out. And then the Weaver's Workbench is where you can get like cool stuff, right? Trinkets and whatnot. I might hold off on the trinkets for now, but I might want to check out the Spirit Crucible. Able to channel spirits into a physical form, such as dust or gems that align with their aspects. This slowly uses up the impetus's material, but it can be repaired or made anew. Of note is the new material Blazing Quartz, which can otherwise be found in the ore in the Nether. Other types of impetus can also be crafted. So this is like a way to generate resources, right? Right, we can make all kinds of different resources with this stuff. Might be fun next time I run into a resource that I don't have a lot of and need. Also, it has like a version for most of the metals, including uranium, which I don't think we have uranium yet. So I might want to check that out. Because, like, basically, once we have a uranium impetus, we can turn earth and infernal spirits into uranium nodes, which can be smelted into uranium. I don't know if that would keep up with something like a nuclear reactor, but it does sound cool. So maybe we'll hold off on this bit. I want to see what this bottom stuff is down here. So the Weeping Well. Is there a book entry for that? Or, like, what's the deal? Did I miss that in the book? Ritual magic. I don't remember a Weeping Well. This is just, yeah, that's nothing. That's not what I'm looking for, at least. If I, like, go up higher or something here? I don't know, man. I don't know. I would imagine it's, like, down the center. But no, I don't think so. I think... That's cool. I like this whole book thingy. I wasn't sure if closing and reopening would work. I don't see anything in here about a Weeping Well. Or any of those other items that were listed on the quests page. So maybe they just haven't made their way into the book yet. This structure deep in the earth leaks whispers and heartbeats and weeping and tugs on certain items in its dark pull. It wants something. Try offering it knowledge or raw resources. See what you might get in return. What is spat back out resembles the original, but is altered in some way that cannot be undone. Perhaps what this place wants is simply to change things as we often do. That said, while any item dropped in that does not show signs of a dark pull is simply rejected, living offerings do not give anything back at all after they fall silent. Surely they were just weak. Okay. So, like, here's things that you can get. So I don't know, the Weeping Well. Interesting. I think I want to check out runes real quick. I did inquire about the well. And the well, I think it's supposed to be more of like a hidden surprise. So maybe it shouldn't have a quest line in here. But it's meant to be like found on its own. And to the effect that none of the items listed here are even in JEI. So this is a secret. We're going to pretend we didn't see that. And maybe we'll stumble upon it in the future. I will endeavor to try and find it in some way. Didn't I get Chthonic Gold? I'm pretty sure I did. Maybe I didn't do that. Yep, there we go. Cool. I know I completed it. On that point, I should probably go back to my temp location, where I assume you are now done running, right? So I can collect all this stuff and bring you home. And we can even remove the chunk claim. Cool. Okay. Sweet. So now, what I'd like to say is let's check out the runes, just so we can kind of... That'll be... So there's two things we haven't looked at in this mod so far, if you ignore the hidden secret stuff. Weaver's Workbench, which lets you make brooches, trinkets, and runes. And then the Spirit Crucible, which lets you make stuff to like generate resources, which we'll check out next time we run into a resource that we want generating. So let's start with making the Weaver's Workbench, which I assume will not be too terribly hard to make. And to be fair, these runes don't look very expensive, so they look pretty doable. Okay, that looks really simple, actually. This may not be that complex. Hello, friends. There's a lot of you. Holy cow! Look how many of these phantoms were ready to attack me. All right, all cleaned up. So now let's check out making runes. So one of the runes that I picked out that I'd like to see is this one. So 4 Tainted Rock and 16 Earth and Spirit. So 4 Tainted Rock and 16 Earth and Spirit. Oh, I actually have exactly half a stack of that. That's cool. Do I click it in? Maybe I'm misunderstanding this. Rune of Protection. Maybe this isn't made here. Oh, it's made in Runic Workbench, which is a Spirit Infusion recipe? Oh, so this is actually different. Okay. This is the Weaver's Workbench. This is for making, I guess, artifices and stuff. This is not... Is there a thing for this? Because that's rune working. Oh yeah, Runic Workbench. So what did I make? A Weaver's Workbench? That's not quite what I was looking for. Runic Workbench. Yes. Weaver's Workbench, I assume, is for armor and whatnot. Okay, yeah, that's just me being diary. 16 Aqueous, 8 Sacred. Definitely gonna need more Aqueous. I might always have like random numbers of these. Needs more Aqueous. Let me get these off camera. Well, I don't know. Does have to be on camera. I think I'll be quick enough, right? Getting there. Getting there. All right, it will be off camera because I need more, and I don't see any squid immediately. All right, I think you should be making hallowed gold as we speak. Hey, didn't I have you, like... I'll make you 5 just to make sure that you don't... There we go. More hallowed gold. And I should be able to just chill in here. Hooray! Hallowed gold. Okay, I'm going to make this one manually, because this isn't something we're going to need to, you know, do a lot of. And if I... the runic planks, and this goes here. And then this goes in the center. Yeah, buddy. Sweet! Okay. And then we should have a runic workbench. Which, again, I'll just kind of plop outside to figure out how things go. So for this, it's U4 and then the earthen, right? And it was 16 of those that I need. So I'm assuming it's just like boom and boom. Oh my goodness, that was quick. Ha! Cool. And that goes in a rune slot. Oh my goodness, which boosted my armor for sure. So this is just a regular curio slot. Are there actually rune slots? Brooch, battery. So Brooch, I think, is the thing, right? Monocle. Oh, look at this. These slots. Oh, that's cool. These slots are a thing. Those slots are new, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. Nice. And then I've got extra armor. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. And then if I wanted another rune, the other one I might want is Vitality. Amplifies all healing received. I mean, there's a bunch of other cool ones. You know, like, but they're Scythe related, some of them. Others are like, you know, running speed, that kind of thing, burning damage. Like, there's cool stuff, right? This one's, I think, the running one. Plus 20% speed and extra speed at low health. So, definitely cool rune type things. Okay, that is neat. So, I think that covers most of what I wanted to do in Malum. I think what I want to do now is probably wrap up this episode. We're going to take a break from Malum for a bit because we've done it a lot, and I know sometimes people don't like when I focus on one mob for too long. I want to get back into the whole, you know, FTB evolution quest line. But at this point, I've got some really cool armor, some really neat abilities. Checked out a brand new mod that is like never seen before by me, and really, really impressed by it. So I hope you guys liked it too. And I'm very excited to see that mod progress because it sounds like there's a lot of cool things coming down the pipeline too. If we're just, I'm gonna refresh your memories in case you missed this last time I talked about it, but it looks like there's plans for poppets, which are some kind of like little entities, little dudes who'll do stuff for you. So like Thaumcraft Golem type related things is what comes to mind there. And then there's the magic mirror, which will allow you to transport the spirits and items around the world, which sounds pretty awesome. And then there's up here, there's ritual magic. So there's a bunch of things that looks like on the horizon. So very excited to see this mod expand. But for now, it's wrapping up point. So now it's my sign off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.